Hey guys, it's Sammy. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. So, been what? I don't know how many days. I don't know when this is going up. I am finally don't want to hold me to anything. I'm trying to get a schedule in place. I've officially been working for a month now. I feel like I'm kind of getting into the groove of things, and I'm really just trying to get back on track with having a schedule, even though it doesn't look like I'm going into the office anytime soon. It doesn't seem like anything's really changing, but I'm trying to get like a schedule going, which is going to include filming. So I'm a little behind on the videos that I wanted to get out when I wanted to get them out. But regardless, today I have an unhaul for you guys, and I have 19 books, I believe, 10 that I have not read before, and 9 that I have read and I'm getting rid of. A good bit of I've read this and I just don't want it, and another half of like I just like don't think I'm ever going to read this. Without further ado, I'm going to get into it. I think I'm going to start with the ones that I've already read, and then we can get into the ones that I just like don't have any plans on reading. So starting off, we have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I read this in January for my comfort zone. Do I like adult romance? I gave this 2 stars, I believe. 3, 2.5 maybe. I really ended up really disliking this book. I did tab it up. It was a thing I did, but I don't see any point in owning this, especially since it brings me no joy, and I don't even hate it enough to like keep it. It's like the cover, I don't know, I don't need it. Really would recommend reading my review on Goodreads and looking at other reviews before you read this, even if it might spoil you. There's just some things in there. There's just some things. Next up, Me Before You, Jojo Moyes. I read this back in 2015 or 2016, right before the movie was going to come out. I loved it when I was a 15 or 16-year-old, but upon further reflection now and after taking class in college, I know how absolutely harmful this book is, and I actively really like hate it now. It just makes me incredibly angry every time I think about this book, so I do not want to own it. I'll link down a video down below from a creator that explains this a lot better than I can, but overall, not good at all, not good at all. Moving on, these two kind of go together, and that's Warm Bodies and The New Hunger, both by Isaac Marion. I believe I bought this because I watched the movie and I absolutely adored it. I did read it, and I did read this too, though I don't remember a single thing about really either of these, and I just don't really see any point in owning them. I like the movie fine, but no real point. But this is Zombies. Highly recommend the movie. I think it's cute, but maybe that's just me. Moving on, another book that I read in January for the same video, which was Do You Like Adult Romance? You know, this makes it seem like I don't, but I definitely do. These books just were not it. And that is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guliari. I just really didn't like this book, and that's why I'm unhauling it. I gave this one a 2 stars, a 1.5, 2 star. I really just thought it was super boring and I didn't like it at all. So I'm unhauling it as well. Like, you can see like all the tabs I have are orange. And if you haven't seen my tabs video, which I'll link up above for you, that's bad. That's bad stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that one. Moving on, this book's just forgettable. Panic by Lauren Oliver. I read it on audiobook last summer maybe. It was super forgettable. I didn't like it that much. It wasn't like Nerve, it was like Small Town Nerve, which is Nerve is like another book movie that has a very similar premise to this, which is just like you do a bunch of crazy dares to get money. I didn't enjoy this that much. I don't feel any need to keep it. Next up, Love, Rosie by Cecilia Ahern. This is also called previously published as Rosie Dunn, but I think it's also used to be called like Over the Rainbow or something. But essentially this is the Love, Rosie book from the movie. I absolutely adored the movie. I read this before the movie came out. This is obviously the mass market paperback. I considered buying a different version of this, but in general I just really enjoyed the movie. Like, I think I read the book and I did enjoy it then, but like thinking back on it, it's definitely not like the best or like my favorite, but I absolutely adore the movie. Highly recommend that, but I'm just gonna get rid of this. I don't like how it looks on the shelf. It's just a mess all around. Next up, another kind of classic, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I gave this 5 stars back in the day. I literally don't know why either. I think it was just like the ending really shocked me back in the day, but now thinking back on it, I'm like thoroughly underwhelmed. I also remember like how long this took me to read and how uninterested I was in the beginning, but then I ended up giving it 5 stars at the end. Overall, just like unimpressed with this thriller, and I don't see the need in owning this. Yeah, no. And last, certainly not least, Eleanor and Park, Rainbow Rowell. I originally gave this probably 5 stars back in the day, 4 or 5 stars, and now it just kind of makes me feel icky after reading some things from some Own Voices reviewers. I know there's still like a lot of mixed commentary on that, because a lot of people, this was the first like any sort of Asian American representation they did read, whether it was good or bad, which I think it's usually consensus it's pretty bad. But for me, I don't really have any personal attachment to this. I don't need it on my shelf, and I'd rather not have it on my shelf. I am still going to try to read some other Rainbow Rowell. I read Fangirl and I'm keeping Fangirl, although I generally did not like that book either. And I do plan on reading Landline, and I don't know if I'm going to read anything else or buy anything else from her, but I don't feel the need in owning this book anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, moving on to books that I have not read yet. So I can't tell you why I'm not reading it, other than the fact I just don't think it sounds interesting. So starting off, we have Suicide Notes by Michael Thomas Ford. This is one of the very first books like I had like when I was starting to build my collection, and it just like doesn't sound like anything I would enjoy. Like, I'll just read like the first couple lines on this. It says, 15-year-old Jeff wakes up on New Year's Day to find himself in the hospital. Make that the psychiatric ward with the nut jobs. Never mind the bandages on his wrists. Clearly this is all a huge mistake. Jeff is perfectly fine, perfectly normal, not like the other kids in the hospital with him. And just like that whole thing is just like so not my thing. Aside from the fact that that whole like description there was kind of troubling. Like, I'm sure it'll amend his thought process on psychiatric wards by the end of the book, but that's beside the point. Mental health books that are solely centered around someone's mental health like this, like you're in a psychiatric ward, definitely just not my thing, and that's just mainly why like this doesn't seem like anything I would really enjoy. Yeah, so this is just like not my thing, and I think there's another one in here that's similar to this, which I'll talk about soon. Next up, 5 Summers, Una LaMarche. This just like doesn't like have any interest in me anymore. Like, I'm sure if you've been around my channel for a lot, you've seen this book pop up. I'm like, I don't know if I'll actually ever read it, and I'm giving up now. 4 Best Friends, 5 Summers of Camp Memories. It just like doesn't appeal to me anymore. It's really long, and if I ever had any interest in this, maybe I'd try to check out from a library or something, but I don't really see point in owning books that I don't know if I'm even gonna like at all. It's just taking up space on my shelf. So that's why I'm getting rid of this one. Nothing personal against it, just like I just don't think I'm gonna get to it. Next up, What She Left, T.R. Richmond. I think I've told this story before. I won this in a Goodreads giveaway, but I genuinely do not remember entering it. Like, I swear they just sent it to me on accident, and I have no interest in this. It has terrible, terrible, terrible reviews. It used to be the lowest rated book on my TBR when it was on my TBR. All around bad. This is just about, on a snowy February morning, the body of 25-year-old Alice Salmon washes on the riverbank south of London. Was it suicide, a tragic accident, or murder? And this is told, like, they go through like her computer or her phone and stuff, and they try to piece together what happened to her, which in theory sounds interesting, but it has bad reviews, and I'm just not nearly interested enough. I should have got rid of it when I first got it, and I was like, I don't even know why I got this, but you know, at least it's finally going where it belongs, which is not in my household. Next up, another one, I don't even know, The Drowning Girls by Paula Tredick DeBoard. This is a book that I picked up by trading at a free little library. I should have just like donated the book that I was trying to trade, but instead I was like, this is like the only one that seems kind of interesting, but it was like still like not interesting at all. This is another thriller. Never heard anything about it. It's in terrible shape. And like I said, if I ever have any interest in this, I'll try to find it somewhere else, but I don't need to own this, you know? I'm trying really hard not to own books that I am not so genuinely excited about when I buy it that I know I will read it eventually. Like, that's like the whole thing with like Book Outlet. Like, we just buy any book that I could find that was on my like big TBR, and that's just like not how I want to do things anymore. Like, I want to only buy books that I have such genuine interest in, that I know I'm pretty positive I'm gonna at least like a little bit, and then buy those, and then the rest of them I'll read from the library if I really want to read it, or I'll just listen to audiobooks, you know. Anyway, this next one, I Hate My Selfie by Shane Dawson. We are just done with Shane Dawson, so I will link down a video down below that I highly recommend anyone that is still like supports Shane Dawson watches. I'm not trying to force you to think whatever. I really recommend, if you ever watch his content, or you still watch his content, or you plan to still watch his content in the future, to watch the video I'm gonna link down below. It really like explains out his whole career and some really troubling things that he's done in his past. Like troubling, but also just sickening and disgusting. Yeah, this makes me sick. Okay, Exit, Pursued by a Bear. I DNF this. I don't see myself picking it up anytime soon. This is about a story of a girl being sexually assaulted / raped during a cheerleading camp. She gets pregnant. It's kind of a story of that. I believe it touches on abortion and adoption and a bunch of like darker stuff that I'm just not interested in reading, and I just like don't see myself reading anytime soon. Once again, with all these, I could ever pick it up in the future, but I don't own it anymore. So yep. Next up, once again, similar to Suicide Notes, it's kind of a funny story by Nevezini. This is pretty well known. It's also been made into a movie, which you kind of get where I'm going here. Like if I'm really interested in it, I'm probably just gonna watch the movie. This is a really thick book. Like this is a super heavy book, and once again, it's about this kid that gets put into a mental hospital or psychiatric ward. Yeah, I just like don't think I could read this book. I don't think it's something that I'm interested in, and also I just think it would like really hurt to read, and maybe that's the point sometimes, but I just don't think I could do it. I can maybe watch the movie, but reading the book is just not gonna be it for me. Next up, Come Back to Me by Mila Gray. I got this book a while ago now, 2016 probably, and this is like a series, a romance series, and I just like have no interest in this. I think this is like about like an army person, a soldier. I don't know. I don't have any interest in that. And like I said, series. If it ever like pops off on Twitter or something, or if people start raving about it, I'll pick it up on ebook. Next, Shades of Darkness, A.R. Caller. I won this in a giveaway. It's signed, but I've heard really bad things about this. It's like a boarding school. I had run to boarding school to escape myself, but I couldn't escape who I was or what I'd done. No matter how fast or far I ran, the crows were just a reminder of that. They wanted back in. My past wasn't done with me, not yet. And like, technically you'd think that sounds interesting, but it has really bad reviews, and I just don't have any interest in it. So yeah. And I also think this is a series too, and I don't even know if it got enough like hype or reviews to even get like more books. So I just don't have any interest in that. And last but not least, I don't know, this book is just, I won this as well in a giveaway with a bunch of ARCs, and this is The Handsome Girl and the Beautiful Boy. Like this doesn't have very good reviews at all. I've heard troubling things about it, and I just like don't have any interest in reading it. It's also really big, and I don't have time to read big books that have been have bad reviews. I don't have time for big books that have bad reviews. That basically just explains every book that I've unhauled. So yeah. Okay, that's gonna be it for today. This was, I don't know, enlightening. I think people like unhauls, but overall, big picture, we don't have time for big books. We don't have time for books that I don't necessarily see myself picking up anytime in the future. Mental health books, as well as any sort of sick lit books, not really my thing. There's not a bigger plot line. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys very, very soon with a new one. See ya, bye. Have a good day, weekend. Yeah, bye. What the fuck ending was that?